What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you could like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below, that would be appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you could be notified anytime we drop new content, that would be appreciated also. So today I'm going to open up something I just received in the mail yesterday, and it's an album that I've wanted on vinyl for a very long time. And, once again, I'm a little late to the party on this, as this particular re-release came out a couple of years ago. But today we're going to take a look at Cinderella'S 1990 album, Heartbreak Station. So just to give you a little backstory on this, the album was released November 20th of 1990. It was released on the Mercury label in America and Vertigo overseas. It was produced by John Jansen and Tom Keifer. It reached as high as number 19 on the Billboard charts and has been certified platinum for shipments of over 1 million copies. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right. So like I said, I'm not sure if this was a Record Store Day issue, but it is the Vinyl is Beautiful issue that came out in 2020. And it does say on here that only 1,000 copies were made. However, I didn't pay a whole lot for this off of eBay, so I don't know if that 1,000 copies thing is true, but who knows. So anyway, there's the front cover. Here is the back cover with the track list and everything else. Now this thing is still in shrink wrap. It's not sealed, but it is in shrink wrap for the moment. But we're gonna go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what we got. So I'm not a big fan of keeping shrink wrap on records, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Now this particular person may have done this to preserve this little end piece here, just kind of describing what it is, and I'll keep this. I'll put this inside the record. But I'm not a big fan of shrink wrap on records. I mean, even when I buy like a brand new record, or if it's an old record that's still in shrink wrap, like sealed, it doesn't stay sealed for very long. So anyway, here we go. Front cover of Heartbreak Station. All right, and then the back cover, once again, with the track listing. All right, so if we open this up, we've got a couple of inserts here. The first is just a sleeve for the record. On one side, it has the lyric sheet. And on the other side here, we have pictures of the band, assuming during the making of the record, and maybe even some tour photos and other things. This is very cool. All right, and then we actually have the sleeve for the record here. And if we pull this record out, now the first cool thing about this is it's on the sticker in the middle, if you notice, is a Vertigo sticker, which is kind of cool. If you ever pick up any early Def Leppard albums or any Vertigo releases from the early 80s, you do see this like little space age science fiction-y looking sticker in the middle. So that's really cool. Let's go ahead and pull this record out. Fancy. All right, as we see here, we have the blue clear vinyl as advertised on the little side piece there. So there is side 1, here is side 2, and again, just has that really cool old school Vertigo sticker in the middle, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so that's everything that's in the album that I can see. All right, so let's get this all put back together, and then we'll talk about this record for a second. All right. All right, all right, so there you go. So there is Cinderella'S 1990 album, Heartbreak Station. Now this is their third record. Upon release, the reviews were pretty positive. It was called everything from bluesy rock, and there were even comparisons to early Rolling Stones and early Aerosmith, which was much deserved. This is a very bluesy, old school rock sounding record. Highlights on the record, I mean, really the four best highlights, the whole album's great, but the four highlights are the first 4 songs on the album. I mean, you can't go wrong. First, you have The More Things Change, then that busts right into Love's Got Me Doing Time, and then you go into the top 40 hit from the album, Shelter Me, which had a really cool video, and it was kind of a statement on televangelism and a lot of other things going on at the time. And then, of course, the title track, Heartbreak Station, which is a ballad that I actually thought deserved a lot more attention than what it got. It should definitely be up there amongst the other monster ballads or whatever, but unfortunately, it didn't chart super high. I think it just missed the top 40. But I mean, then you go into Sick for the Cure, one for rock and roll, and then you get to side 2. You got Dead Man's Road, Make Your Own Way, Electric Love, Love Gone Bad, and Winds of Change. I mean, there's not a bad song on the record, and somewhat of a change in direction from the first album. Now, if you listen to their albums, the first album you know, still very bluesy, but had a little more in common with the glam rock that they're associated with. And then, of course, they got a little bluesier and expanded the songwriting on Long Cold Winter. And then just, you know, just got real bluesy and, you know, much deeper with this album here. And to me, this is a lost classic. Now, it's kind of hard to consider an album that's certified platinum to be a lost classic, because obviously at least a million people have picked it up. However, it gets lost because I think most people, when they talk about Cinderella, they talk about night songs and they talk about Long Cold Winter. You don't hear a lot of talk about this record, and that's a shame because this is a great record. And incidentally, this is the first album that drummer Fred Coury actually played drums on. He was a member of the band through all their, you know, their first 3 albums, but he didn't play on the first 2 records for whatever reason. But this is the first album that he actually played drums on, so that's kind of neat. And I think he left between this and the next record. So it was the first album he played drums on and the last album he played drums on. So, you know, and like I said, you know, when they came out with night songs, you know, they got lumped into glam and hair metal, and for good reason. I mean, if you look at the cover of Night Songs, you know, it's pretty glammed up. You know, it's everything cliche about hair metal, even though the music didn't necessarily match what you were seeing on that front cover. And of course, they scaled back on all that to the point where they just had your pretty basic, you know, jeans and, you know, black shirt, you know, whatever, you know, rock and roll look. I mean, they're not too glammy on the front of this album here, you know, a little more scaled back. You know, but I mean, hell, you know, most of their music, you know, is more blues and glam, and this album is no exception. So, you know, check this album out. You know, unfortunately, the band did struggle after the release of this record. About a year or so after this record hit, grunge pretty much took over. And slowly, not right off the bat like everybody tells you, but slowly kind of wiped hair metal off the map for a while. Their next album in 1994 is Still Climbing, barely charted. Then they had contractual issues that kept them from ever being able to record as Cinderella anymore. And then Tom Keifer had a pretty successful solo career for the last 9 or 10 years. And of course, their lead guitar player, Jeff LaBar, recently passed away. So the chances that we'll hear Cinderella as a band anymore are pretty slim. But I did just see Tom Keifer in concert in Daytona maybe a month and a half or so ago. And he played all the Cinderella hits. Everything sounded great. You know, he did play a couple of tunes from this record. You know, so go check that out if that comes to your town. But again, Heartbreak Station, you know, I know everybody knows all the songs off Cinderella's first 2 records, but don't sleep on this 3rd album. In my opinion, it may be my favorite, but if not, it's right there with, you know, with the first 2 albums as just, you know, balls of the wall, you know, hard bluesy rock. So check it out. That's all I've got for you today. Again, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new content. I've got some other things out on my channel. I've got the rest of my Inside the Vinyl series where we talk about lost classics and live albums. I've got several unboxing videos on there as well. Hopefully going to be combining all of that under the Inside the Vinyl banner, so I'm not such a branding nightmare. I've got some live footage from some different festivals and concerts. And I've also got some mediocre disc golf videos starring some mediocre players, myself included. So again, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. There you go, boy.